heaven on earth. The land of the dawn-lit mountains. Arunachal Pradesh derived from the Sanskrit word Arun, meaning the sun, and Pradesh, meaning the region or the province, and hence is aptly referred to as the land of the rising sun, in reference to its position as the easternmost state of India. It is the biggest amongst the group of northeastern states of India, which are commonly known as the Seven Sisters. Itanagar is the capital of the state. Arunachal Pradesh is divided into 17 districts. Moreover, it can be further roughly divided into a set of semi-distinct cultural spheres on the basis of their tribal identity, language, religion, and material culture. It is home to varied forest types of eastern Himalayas, which exhibit an enormous floristic diversity, rendering an innumerable variety and kind of a number of timber species, orchids, medicinal plants, ferns, bamboos, canes, wild relatives of a large number of our cultivated plants, and even plants of biological curiosities. Sans urban trappings and stark comforts, nestled into the folds of these Himalaya ranges lies the mystic land of Tawang, a bit of paradise still left on earth, a splendid canvas of unspoiled scenic beauty, where the first rays of the sun kiss the snowy peaks and the last fills the saucer of the shivering sky to its brim with countless stars. Tawang, the world of mystics and enchanting beauties, is the westernmost district of Arunachal Pradesh. Located at the soaring height of about 10,000 feet above mean sea level, sharing boundaries with Tibet in the north, Bhutan in the west-south, and West Kameng in the south. Home to the Monpa tribe, Tawang is believed to have derived its name from the grandiose Tawang Monastery, perched on the edge of the ridge running along the western part of Tawang township. Ta means horse and Wang means chosen. As the legend goes, the site of the present monastery is believed to have been chosen by a horse owned by Mirang Lama Lodre Gamtso, who according to the wishes of the 5th Dalai Lama was in search for an appropriate place to establish a monastery, which he did at this very place in late 1681. However, there is another belief of derivation of the name Tawang. The great treasure revealer Turtan Pemalingpa gave initiation such as Tamdin and Kagyad, and hence the place came to be known as Tawang, derived from Ta, an abbreviation for Tamdin, and Wang, which means initiation. So this time when you hear the call from Monyun, do not neglect. The Mompas will be there to welcome you, and the valley will echo with the whisper of Tashi Delek. The magical sojourn to Tawang begins with the foothills of Assam at Bhalukpong, the gateway to Kameng, and you are greeted with the sight of the serene Bareilly River. The winding roads then climb up the eastern Himalayas and offer some breathtaking and scintillating views, coupled with the salubrious climate all along the way. The towns of Tenga, Bomdela, and Dirang are situated en route, which are important administrative centers. The formidable Sela Pass at an altitude of 13,700 feet gives the visitors the first glimpse of the Tawang Valley. The snow-capped peaks, pleasant lakes, congenial climate, and the friendly and hospitable people of this place will continue to entice you during your visit to this kingdom of heaven. This magical land evokes images of awesome mountain views, remote hamlets, quaint and sleepy villages, magical gompas, tranquil lakes, and mesmerizing mountains. At Tawang, one has a heavenly tryst with nature, along with a heady mixture of ancient history, mismatched religion, and glorious legends. Tawang has always been an important historical and political center. It is located with the international boundary approximately just 30 kilometers ahead to the north, and Bumla, which is also an important border outpost with historical importance and used to be a significant trade route in the past. It is mainly because of the Indo-China conflict of 1962 and the most extraordinary events leading to it that this peaceful land hogged the limelight in the international arena. Recorded history from an outside perspective only became available in the Ahom chronicles of the 16th century. The northwestern parts of this area came under the control of the Mompa kingdom, which flourished between 500 BC and 600 AD. This region then came under the loose control of Tibet and Bhutan, especially in the northern areas. It came under the British sovereignty in 1844, however, until early 1900 remained unexplored, until expeditions by British surveyors and explorers were undertaken in this region. In 1873, the British drew an inner line in the foothills, which no one could pass without a pass or license. However, it was the outer line which was regarded as the international boundary. In 1913, after the decline of Chinese power in Tibet, the British government entered into an agreement with Tibet and a weak Chinese government to delineate this outer line or boundary, and thus was born the McMahon line under the Shimla Accord. British Administrator Sir Henry McMahon drew up the 550 miles or 890 kilometer McMahon line as the border between British India and Outer Tibet. The Chinese representative refused to sign the proposed delineation of the boundary. However, the Tibetan government and the British government went ahead with the agreement. The first seed of conflict had been sown. The situation developed further as India became independent and the People's Republic of China was established in 1949. With the People's Republic of China poised to take over Tibet, India unilaterally declared the McMahon line to be the boundary in November 1950. Tibet was invaded by China in 1950 and became a part of the People's Republic of China. Therefore, the line, though initially agreed by the Chinese during the tripartite conference consisting of India, China and Tibet in Shimla in 1913-14, was not accepted by the new People's Republic of China. The issue was quiet for nearly a decade when a period of cordial Sino-Indian relations existed. But the re-emergence of the issue was a major cause of the Sino-Indian War of 1962. In 1959, after the Tibetan uprising, Dalai Lama, the spiritual head of Tibet, escaped to India via this very place at Khinzemane and took refuge in Tawang monastery before moving on. Subsequently, the Chinese blamed India for having territorial designs in Tibet and of having engineered Khampa rebellion in Tibet with the aid of US agents. On the eve of the conflict, Government of India mooted a forward policy, codenamed Operation Omkar, which was launched in 1960. This involved establishment of a number of forward posts all along the frontier manned by the Assam Rifles. Soon there were 40 such forward posts, which were established in the western sector and 24 in the eastern sector. 4 Infantry Division under Major General Niranjan Prasad was made responsible for the defences of NEFA, or the Northeastern Frontier Agency. The division initially had only 1 infantry brigade in its orbit, 7 infantry brigade deployed in general area Tawang. Later on, 62 infantry brigade at Sela, 65 infantry brigade at Dhirang and 48 infantry brigade at Bomdila were placed in its orbit. The divisional headquarters were located at Tejpur, which came under 33 Corps, situated at Shillong, commanded by Lieutenant General Umrao Singh, and was responsible for the entire area of operations in the northeastern states until the 4 Corps came into existence in September 1962, which was commanded by Lieutenant General B.M. Kaul. In September 62, an Assam Rifles patrol set up a post in Zimithang sector known as the infamous Dhaula Post, which was the final trigger to the Himalayan blunder. Meanwhile, in Delhi, amidst political statements, rhetoric by opposition and ministers alike, huge public outcry, and majorly based on an incorrect assessment of the Chinese strength, was born the plan to capture Thagla. 7 Infantry Brigade, commanded by Brigadier J.P. Dalvi, which was responsible for Kameng sector, commenced aggressive measures and started forward movements across the Namkachu. The brigade located at Tawang had 4 infantry battalions under command. On the other hand, Chinese were estimated to have a total strength of approximately 24,000 troops opposite the Indian forces. The stage for a showdown had been set. As the first exchange of fire took place, the entire brigade, along with headquarters, was concentrated at Lumpo. Own advance across the river was stalled by effective enemy fire. The Chinese build-up on Thagla continued unabated, and despite the valiant efforts of our soldiers in the finest tradition of the Indian Army, the brigade sector fell into the Chinese hands by 21st October. Towards the east, Bumla was an important piece of ground which was to be held at all costs to prevent a direct access to Tawang. After the defences of 7 Infantry Brigade had been overrun, Chinese attack on Tawang became imminent. The enemy then attacked the 1 Sikh platoon on IB Ridge, which under Subedar Joginder Singh stood firm like a rock in front of the advancing enemy and beat back 3 consecutive attacks.
जोगिंदर साहब, ये आपके कमांडर साहब का जरूरी संदेश।
अल्फा ब्रावो चार्ली, टाइगर स्पीकिंग। जोगिंदर सिंह क्या पोजीशन है?
साहब, चीनी सिपाही भारी तादाद में तीनों तरफ से हम पे हमला बोल रहे हैं। ओवर।
ठीक है, रीइंफोर्समेंट भेजी जा रही है। उनके पहले हमले का क्या रिजल्ट रहा?
बहुत मारा साहब, हमने बहुत मारा। वो 200 थे, हम 30 थे, पर हमने उन्हें फिर भी भगा दिया।
शाबाश, कीप इट अप। हमें तुम पर नाज है, डटे रहो।
In this fierce action, the platoon lost half of its men, but not the will to fight. The valiant action of the small detachment of troops could not stem the tide of Chinese attacks, but held on till their last breath. Subedar Joginder Singh was awarded the highest wartime gallantry, the Paramveer Chakra, posthumously. Enemy attacked Tawang from 3 directions from 23rd to 25th October and occupied it unopposed on 25th October, as orders were given to the troops in Tawang to withdraw. Meanwhile, own 62 Infantry Brigade took up defences at Sela. On 17th November at 0500 hours, Chinese launched an attack on 4 Garhwal rifles at the mouth of Nuranang Valley, now known as Jaswantgarh. In the ensuing battle, the battalion beat back 3 consecutive attacks. The battle remains the saga of valiant warrior Jaswant Singh, Mahavir Chakra, posthumous, of 4 Battalion Garhwal Rifles, who gave a supreme sacrifice during 1962 Sino-Indian War. He fought a brilliant, unceasing, unflinching and continuous battle for 72 hours to exemplify a great son of Bharat Mata, who had immortalized himself by virtue of his excellent deed of bravado and is popularly known as the Jaswant Baba, and has attained a godlike status among the people in Tawang. His memorial is situated at Jaswantgarh at an altitude of 10,700 feet, where his belongings are placed. 65 Infantry Brigade and the division headquarters were located in general area Dhirang and comprised of 4 Rajput and 19 Maratha light infantry. The infiltrating Chinese troops used the famous Bailey's Trail to cut off the withdrawing Indian troops. Fierce battles were fought at Nukmadong, Sapar and Munna camp. During its withdrawal, 4 Rajput column under the commanding officer Lieutenant Colonel B.S. Avasthi displayed exemplary courage and counter-ambushed the Chinese, killing over 200 of them. The entire column, including Lieutenant Colonel B.S. Avasthi, were killed in this battle. But the action shown by the officer and his men in the face of the enemy was exemplary, and still stands as an example of courage, conviction and unflinching dedication to the country whenever called upon for its service. Meanwhile, 48th Infantry Brigade located at Bomdila was attacked by approximately 1,500 Chinese soldiers. During the attack, the enemy was pelted with heavy artillery firing with open sights under one of the gun position officers, 2nd Lieutenant Akshay Kapila of 22 Mountain Regiment, which accounted for over 300 enemy casualties. Resistance lasted till ammunition ran out. Cohesion was lost and the personnel withdrew to plains in small batches. China declared unilateral ceasefire on the night of 20th and 21st November 62, and the Chinese withdrew from Nefa by 5th December 1962. The Indian administration took over Tawang area by January 1963. As the dust of the war subsided, most of the intellectual Indians came to terms with a sad new world. The India-China War of 1962 was marked by battles under extreme harsh conditions, with places at an average height of 15,000 feet. The debacle of 1962 was a saga of apathy of the political class, indecisiveness and poor handling of the military, which was ill-equipped to fight in such harsh conditions. Nevertheless, it was the Indian soldier who stood resolute in the toughest of times and deterred the enemy till his last breath. Coupled with their heroic deeds was the unflinching support of the inhabitants of Tawang region, who toiled with these brave soldiers and provided all possible help in their own ways. Tourists visiting this region can pay tribute to the gallant sons of the soil at a number of memorials commemorating the deeds of our martyrs. The notable amongst them are memorials at Survasamba, Bumla, Nukmadong, Jaswantgarh and the Tawang War Memorial. The Pride of Tawang is a 40-foot-high memorial dedicated to these martyrs of the 1962 Sino-Indian War. This stupa-like structure was blessed by the Dalai Lama in 1997 and is also called Namgyal Chorten by the locals and has the names of 2,420 martyrs etched in gold on 32 black granite plaques. The memorial is surrounded by 2 rooms on each side. One room houses artifacts, maps, photographs and remains of the war, and an amphitheatre which is used for a light and sound show, depicting the heroic deeds of the slain soldiers, the very place where we are right now. The structure signifies eternal spirit and was constructed in accordance with the local religious practices of the Mompas, the natives inhabiting Tawang and West Kameng districts. Descendants of Mongoloid race, Mompas are Buddhist by religion, and Tawang Monastery is the fountainhead of their spiritual lives. The Mompas are by and large agriculturalists, and apart from this they also tame yak, sheep and other livestock. They are courteous, friendly, docile, hard-working and above all very hospitable and possess a rich heritage of culture. They dress well in artistically designed clothes. Their communal life is rich and happy, and the influence of the compassionate Lord Buddha on the ordinary man is very evident. The Mompas have their own distinctive way of clothing themselves, well adapted to the conditions of their environment. The food of the people is largely determined by its agricultural practices. Mompas are very fond of chilies. Charmin, the chili paste which is prepared by grinding chilies with fermented cheese, is a very popular serving. Dances have been an important part of the life of the people of Tawang, perhaps a synonym for their very existence. The Mompas perform a wide variety of traditional pantomime dances on important social occasions, but most prominently during the Losar festival, the local New Year. Performance and competition of the famous traditional dances of the area adds color and excitement to the festivals. Fairs and festivals have always been an integral part of the tribal people of Arunachal Pradesh, so is true for the Mompas as well. Festivals provide the people with occasions to get together and enjoy the spirit of brotherhood. They mirror the rich culture of the people of Tawang. Their artistic genius and skill in expressing themselves through music and dance that occupy the main place in the celebration of this festival. The festivals of Mompas are also mostly associated with agriculture and religion. Making of beautiful carpets, painted wooden vessels, and silver articles are, however, the speciality of the Mompas. Paper making, smithy work, carpentry, pottery, and ivory work are other crafts practiced by these people. The handmade papers are used for writing religious prayers and hymns. Today, Tawang is a different story altogether. The dusty roads are being replaced by the blacktop highways with the concerted efforts of the Border Roads Organization under the aegis of the Indian Army. Tourism also is at its full bloom, with the visitors flocking in huge numbers to explore this amazing Mompa land. The major tourist attractions in this region include the Tawang Monastery, the War Memorial, Chungetsar and PTSO lakes, Gorsam Chorten and the Jung Falls, to name a few. Tawang Monastery is the second biggest and oldest in Asia, known as Tawang Ganden Namgyal Latse, that is, the celestial paradise of divine sight chosen by the horse. The 8-meter-high gilded statue of Lord Buddha dominates the sanctum. The great rotating prayer wheels, priceless thankers, the drone of monks in prayer, sputtering butter lamps are an evocative vision. The Tawang Monastery had a residential building for the monks, a library, a museum, and school for the basic education. In another part of this culture-rich region stands the sky-looming high stupa at Gorsam, which is about 92 kilometers from Tawang and was constructed by Lama Prathar from Kharmen village in Zemithang in 13th century AD, featuring a 186 feet base modelled after Bodhinath Stupa of Nepal. The famous Chungetsar lake, or the Madhuri Jheel, is epitomized by the famous dance sequence of Madhuri Dixit in the film Koila. The lake created by an earthquake is characterized by standing tree stems in the middle of the lake, which gives a picturesque view all round the year. The Pangang Tengso is another major tourist attraction about 14 kilometers from the town. The lake is as blue as lapis lazuli on clear day, coyly hidden under the mist on rainy days, surrounded by flowers of all colors in October, and stark white with snow in winter. As the custodians of these natural wonders, the armed forces have taken up the mantle of not only preserving the natural ecological balance, but have also revamped the landscape around, which has helped maintain the sanctity of these locations and increase the tourist influx. Taking a cue from the past, today the army has developed its capabilities and resources to beat back any misadventure if undertaken by our adversary at any point in time. The Indian Army is ever vigilant and fully prepared at all times. Moreover, the Army has also taken up the mantle of sustained development and all-round nation building in the region, with a large number of projects that have been initiated in the forward areas, which include welfare, education and upliftment of the local populace to bring them to the national mainstream. This has helped to fraternize the local population and increase our sense of belongingness to these simple and beautiful human beings. Acting as Samaritans to the local populace, numerous projects have been undertaken by the Army to include setting up of computer labs at village schools, provisioning recreational and sports facilities to the school children, solar electrification of villages, setting up greenhouses and many more. It has been the best endeavor of the Olive Greens to lend out a helping hand to the people and assist the administration whenever required, be it dousing forest fires, opening up of roads and communication, or helping out a traveller in need. The Manjushri Foundation for Orphans is an award-winning initiative which was founded in 1998. The foundation provides the destitute and needy children a helping hand by providing them education and a place to live. In line with its honorable traditions, the Army has been helping out the noble cause in its own ways by providing material help and has also sponsored the higher education of these children at Army School at Tejpur. Vidya Shri School is another role model project undertaken by the Army, which reaches out to the children of poverty-stricken daily wage earners stone breakers, and casual laborers dotting the fringes of Tawang. Besides education, the school also organizes visits, medical camps, and extra co-curricular activities for the children. This project epitomizes the Army's propensity to contribute to a social cause and is a positive step in bridging the gap between the local populace and the Army. Besides that, about 2 kilometers away from the township is the Mahabodhi Old Age Home, an orphanage established in the year 1999 by Lama Thupten Phuntsuk, a Padma Shri awardee with the objective of taking care of the less fortunate children. The Indian Army has been actively engaged in assisting the orphanage and provisioning basic amenities to these children and old people. The gigantic Himalayas, the mystical aroma in the air, and the vibrant hues of Tawang strike an immediate chord in the hearts of the uninitiated. The land of the Mompas presents a varied contrast. On the one hand, the mystical chants and hymns and the magical effect of Buddhism creates an aura of peace, tranquility, and serenity, while on the other hand, it has a history galore and witness to the saga of conflict between the two Asian giants. This journey of ours is an attempt to recreate this aura and pay tribute to the docile, hard-working inhabitants of Tawang, the sons of soil who gave the supreme sacrifice for the nation, and most importantly, to the thread of Indianness which binds us all. Ladies and gentlemen, if it is the solitude which you seek, far from the maddening crowd, we welcome you to the land of the Mompas. Withering clouds, bright sunshine, mesmerizing beauty, plush greenery, and the holiness of the hymns. Tawang is truly the kingdom of heaven.